I'm Rachel Means, and I'm here to talk about United Way and how it has impacted my life personally with my family and primarily our son. This story started 3.5 years ago, and at this point, we had been struggling with my oldest son, who was 3.5 at the time, with daycare. They no longer could help him at a daycare facility. We were having issues with his behavior being outbursts or not listening to the teacher. And so we were at our third daycare and his behavior got worse. And it was to the point where they were worried he might hurt other children, where he was pushing, kicking, throwing chairs. And so on this particular day, I received a phone call that he was being asked to leave our third daycare. And my pediatrician, I called her on my way to get my son, and she said, "Come see me." And she's been through that journey with us the whole time from the beginning, and she finally had an answer for us. She never gave up, and we were told that day about Amos Cottage. I called to see if there was an opening, and luckily there was, and so we set up an interview, which was my husband, myself, and our son. And that interview process was about 3 hours long, and it was relieving and scary at the same time. We were very excited. We did the tour. They were all licensed therapists. The pediatric wing was connected, and so they would be able to monitor him and really truly tell us what was wrong. It was an eye-opening experience for our family. As parents, you don't want there to be anything wrong with your children, and sometimes there's a pride issue accepting that something's wrong. And through this process, that day that I had to leave work, that day I was already prepared to quit my job, because I didn't want to send him to another facility where he was going to be kicked out. And as a parent, this is the worst feeling in the world. You have no idea how to help your child. You've tried all solutions and you are at a loss. We talked about the plan. We had an awesome plan put out for him, and then it came down to finances. Typically, daycare at the time was about $150 to $55 a week that we were paying for him to go, and when they told us that it was going to be over $1,200 a week for him to attend, we were right back down the roller coaster. We just knew we couldn't do it. It wasn't going to be feasible, and we said we just can't. And they smiled and said, "This is an income-based program. We're going to look at what you guys are doing, and then United Way will pay the rest." And we paid exactly what we paid for daycare, and our son was there for 9 months, and it was amazing. The spectrum was large. You heard everything from autism to the defiancy disorders to also sensory disorders, so it was also a roller coaster throughout that time being there, that our son could have something severe or as mild as ADHD. And throughout the process, he was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety, and so we are able to help him with the tools that we learned at Amos Cottage to make him successful today. We are so thankful. He is an amazing person. He's in first grade this year. It's awesome, and I just want to say thank you for those who contribute and donate to us and help us.